I think they end up taking this division. But let's dive in. Let's shift it. We cover the South. Let's cover in the AFC. Let's cover the South in the NFC. Now the NFC, we have a lot to cover here as well. Projection wise, Tampa Bay, I guess they're the favorites. They got the best old man in the entire league. So obviously you can't go against Tom Brady when you're Vegas odds makers and you see what he can do, right? He won the Super Bowl last year. Super Bowl champion, resides in this division, the NFC South. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers come in as heavy favorites to win this. So this division is in a weird place, right? There's not a lot of competitiveness in this one. It's really top heavy with one team. So Tampa Bay minus 185 to win this. That means they are overwhelmingly like the favorites to win this one. Betting 185 to win 100. Man, you're pretty confident with them coming out of this one with the championship of the division. New Orleans Saints, if you're on the flip side, plus 330. This comes with changing of the guard when it comes to the quarterback position. Having Drew Brees leave and having some uncertainty with some quarterbacks that you might not even know how they're going to do. Jameis Winston is spotty at best. He could have like insane games and he can have shit games. Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan has never really come through and proven that he could be that guy. Like, he's not that guy. I've always thought Matt Ryan is a little bit overhyped, in my opinion. He hasn't done anything. He reminds me of what the San Diego Chargers were when they were always projected to win the AFC West, and yet they choked in like the end of the season every single year. Everyone always hyped the Chargers because the Chargers were that sexy team.
You're talking about like that's in the past. It's still happening every year. Even I saw a clip on NFL Network's Good Morning Football this year hyping the Chargers as like potentially winning the AFC West. So just another year of them doing that. But go ahead. Yeah.
But they're the San Diego Chargers or LA Chargers of this division, in my opinion.
To Matt Ryan's credit, he did have a 28-3 lead in a Super Bowl.
And who did he lose to?
He lost. He lost to another quarterback in his division.
Yeah, he lost to Tom Brady, and he's going to continue to lose to Tom Brady in this division. So Atlanta Falcons plus 700 to win this division. Bet 100 to win 700? Sure. The Atlanta Falcons, we'll dive into this. Man, they gave up some leads last year, man. That Dallas Cowboys game, whoo, there was an Atlanta Falcon fan that lost a lot of money on that game. And then last but not least, Carolina Panthers, who, they're in that rebuilding phase. They might still be trying to get Sean Watson. They might, they have a little bit of all sorts of things happening there, but they do have Christian McCaffrey. They have a couple weapons there. Plus 950. They are slated to finish fourth in this division. So projected totals, 11.5 for Tampa Bay, bringing back a great defense, a pretty good offense. Atlanta Falcons are projected 7.5 wins, along with, all right, think about this. Carolina Panthers and Atlanta Falcons both projected the same win totals, yet Carolina is plus 950, Atlanta is plus 700. All right, so, maybe you can say that Carolina Panthers might have a chance to, based off of their projected total wins, may be able to chance to catch the Falcons. The Falcons might finish in the bottom of this one. So who knows there? And then the New Orleans Saints, 9 total wins projected in 2021, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. So that's where we're at. Let's dive into these teams and see a little bit of a close-up on what we're working with here. Starting, let's dive in with the Atlanta Falcons. Finished 2020 with a 4-12 record. So not great. Obviously, Matt Ryan is one of those guys that he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league from what people, put him as in that pedestal of quarterback echelon. I feel like he's an overrated quarterback in my opinion. That's just me. But they got some interesting players that they brought in. They did lose a couple key players as well. But Calvin Ridley is a monster on the wide receiver side, so he's going to be Matt Ryan's favorite target. Keep an eye on him in fantasy football. Kyle Pitts, tight end, is another one. So that's another one that can come in. Really, really high-rated prospect. So he has the potential to make some big, big plays here. We might talk about him in a little bit. Who knows?
He is the tight end, so I bet we do.
Yeah. We will talk. By the way, speaking of tight ends, we are covering our number one secret that will win you your fantasy football league, and it has to do with tight ends. So don't go anywhere. We're covering that right after this segment next. So don't go anywhere. Yeah. So from this team, I just, I don't really see that they've improved enough for me to be excited about what they're doing coming into 2021. I don't see it. I don't see the spots where they've really gotten better to the point where I feel confident in them competing in this division higher than a certain point. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't see them. Even New Orleans having the quarterback questions they have, I still don't. I think New Orleans is still a better team. So from that standpoint, I don't know, man. I don't really have anything exciting to say about the Atlanta Falcons going into this year.
Yeah, the exciting piece is maybe, let's hope, like Kyle Pitts, who we'll dive into later, is the piece they thought he was when they took him, I believe, number 4 overall in the draft as a tight end, difference maker out of Florida. Hopefully he can fill in for, obviously, the loss of Julio Jones for Matt Ryan to piece with Calvin Ridley, who, as you said, Calvin Ridley is going to dominate this year and get a ton of targets and a ton of touches, and he'll put up big fantasy numbers. This defense is not great. They got some holes. I like Grady Jarrett. Dante Fowler's been around the block a little bit, can sometimes apply some pressure. AJ Terrell, they added a couple years ago in the draft from Clemson in the first round. He's been all right. Otherwise, like, this is not a defense that you just look at. Like, they were part of the reason they had to lose Julio Jones. They were in salary cap hell this offseason, so they had to unload some salary. They went all in with this roster that they thought was going to be a winner, and it kind of fell flat. It's kind of fallen flat since that Super Bowl. Ever since 28-3, it's kind of been a dumpster fire of sorts for the Falcons. I don't think they've won a playoff game. I believe they did make the playoffs since then, but they have not won a playoff game since that loss in the Super Bowl, which is super disappointing, especially when they had a 28-3 lead in that game. Yeah, listen, I've been fooled before. I'm like, no, the Falcons have a roster. They're going to be fine. They're going to win games. Matt Ryan's solid, if not spectacular. Like, he may not be spectacular, but he's a solid quarterback. This roster doesn't excite me. I'm not going to get fooled again.
Yeah.
This team finds ways to lose. Now, we'll see whether they can stop doing that. Arthur Smith, the new coach, the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator from last year, who led that prolific run game with Derrick Henry and led a really, really good offense in Tennessee. So we'll see what he can do as an NFL head coach, and maybe stem the tide on the, like, them and the Chargers last year were like epic in losing games they shouldn't have lost. So that 4-12 record, they were better than 4-12, but are they a playoff team? No, I don't think so. Maybe everyone else can hear you, but I can't hear you, Chris. Can other people hear you?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You got muted first. You muted yourself.
Yeah. My bad.
Which I appreciate.
Sometimes people don't like what I have to say, so I mean, it's honestly better that way. Just like when your video turns off and you're just like, nah, people don't need to see me. That's how I feel.
My face is not a winner.
Yeah. So no one's excited about the Falcons, and we don't have any expectations for them this year. They're probably going to be at the bottom of this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finish last in this division. So that's my little spiel on them. Let's move on, though. Carolina Panthers are the ones that are battling for that last spot in this division. And honestly, if I'm betting on this, I feel like, and I got to check the FanDuel Sports app to see if you can pick where teams will finish in a division. I'm sure that's a thing you can bet on. I know FanDuel's limited. You can go to Vegas and bet on literally everything. But if I'm betting, I wouldn't mind putting a little wager that Carolina finishes. I don't know what the odds are. I'm completely in the dark on this, but I'd say that the Carolina Panthers finish third in this division. I think the Carolina Panthers might be better than the Falcons in this year. And I think they're going to get maybe potentially over their win total. They were kind of a team that I felt last season were better than they were. And they ended up finishing with 5 wins, 5-11. People had them in the dumpster. And I was like, no, maybe hold your breath on the Carolina Panthers. They might compete. And they did. They were the worst team in the league. 5-11. They managed. So this year they are projected a little bit more here with 7.5 wins, and I don't think that's far off from standard, right? What we think. Now they do have Christian McCaffrey, who is a guy that, man, that kid can do literally everything. Coming off an injury from 2020, where he didn't really have a lot of time to. I mean, he crushed fantasy football owners, but he's back. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year. And then as far as Sam Darnold's coming in. They're doing the little Sam Darnold experiment, getting him from New York Jets, seeing what he can do. I think this is going to be a beneficial move for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had zero to work with in New York. He had nothing to get excited about going to work every day. They had 0 Pro Bowlers practically around him over the course of his first seasons with the Jets. Like they had nobody to put around him to make him successful. Well, here he's got a couple pieces, right? He's got some pieces that can make them really stand out and maybe revitalize a career of a nice young quarterback that people had a lot of hopes for going into the draft and when he was drafted, going into the New York Jets. People were hyped. They were saying he was the next Andrew Luck. He might be able to revitalize that here. Does he do it, Scotty?
Listen, I like this Panthers team a little bit. I like Matt Rule, the head coach, a lot. This is his second year coming out of Baylor. He took Baylor from a disaster, suspensions, things like that, and instantly, improve them. I think this offense is going to be pretty good. If Darnold can just get the ball out of his hands and go to where the play is designed, they have pieces. Talk about Christian McCaffrey. I think he's a no-brainer number 1 pick in fantasy football.
Has to be
the number 1 pick. If you don't take, whether it's PPR or regular, it doesn't matter. Certainly in PPR, but in regular standard formats, I would take McCaffrey number 1. It's a no-brainer. Robbie Anderson balled out. This is a reuniting of Darnold and Robbie Anderson when they played in the Jets 2 years ago. So they played together before. DJ Moore, wide receiver, and then they love in camp Terrace Marshall Jr. From LSU, wide receiver that they drafted this year in the draft. So they have pieces. The offensive line is going to be okay, not great, but okay. I think that Darnold has some ability. If not, I don't know if you watched. There could be a QB battle here at some point because PJ Walker, the backup, kind of balled out in their preseason, and he has some athletic ability and he can sling it. I like PJ Walker a lot. He's exciting. We'll see if he ever plays. But if Darnold struggles and they go to PJ Walker, I think they're going to be fine. Listen, this was a team that was pretty good offensively at times with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback last year. So I think they can scheme up some things. Defensively, I love a couple pieces. They have some holes to fill. Brian Burns is a up and coming pass rusher that they drafted out of Miami a couple years ago. Derek Brown they got on the interior from Auburn. Jeremy Chin they drafted in the draft last year. Free safety. He's a monster. He's their best defensive player already, as he was as a rookie last year. He's a playmaker. He'll make plays for you. Kind of reminds me of like a Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, and then he will cause things to happen. He'll make things happen. So they have some pieces. I think this team's going to be better than people think. I like this team a little bit. Now, are they in contention to like go deep in the playoffs? No. But are they a team that could squeak into the postseason maybe? I think so.
Yeah, no, they're a team that could be in a wild card conversation. They're a team that can upset a pretty good team, or be spoiler at the end of the year as well. So, I mean, the Panthers are on the up and ups. Don't sweat on the Panthers here. So, anyways, yeah, we'll see how they end up panning out. I mean, I take what do we have them at projected at 7.5 wins. I think that's right around where they're going to finish. So I wouldn't touch this bet, but yeah,
I'm taking the over, and I might bet it.
Ooh, hot take. Let's go. It's not a hot take. I think they might. It's close. Next, we want to cover the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are projected at 9 wins. Now, they finished last year 12-4, so they're taking a huge step back. That's due to Drew Brees retiring. He's gone, and quarterback is the big position battle of this team, right? Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. Sean Payton is going to be kind of looking at who's going to be the best situation here on who's going to take over the role here. Boys, the audio sounds crisp. Love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We try to hone in on it. Like, really, we try to make sure it's right where it needs to be. So appreciate the love. But yeah, Jameis Winston, man, he can be Rocket Winston, and he could also be shit Winston, based off of throwing interceptions. He's a guy that could get you 50 touchdowns and 50 interceptions in a season, and you just like, what's going on here? So yeah, that's kind of the big piece of it. Michael Thomas is also another wild card here. Michael Thomas has been very cryptic over the past like month, where he's like kind of upset with the team, kind of not, kind of secretive with how he's feeling. Something's going on there. He's got that Damian Lillard vibe going of just throwing out cryptic tweets about how he might not be happy. I don't know what that means. But yeah, it's interesting, man. Gold Glover in the chat using XLR. No, we're not. But I mean, I have my Streamlabs. I played around with the settings to make it so it's a little bit better, even if it's not like a super great mic. It's still, we have the sound quality and a good point. But yeah, no, it's definitely tweaking little by little. But love to have conversations with you about all those settings and stuff if you're interested. So yeah,
you guys can nerd out later.
We'll nerd out. Gold Glover and I, we go way back. You know what I'm saying? Like we do it. Yeah. So with Michael Thomas, like that's an interesting situation going on with that team. But yeah, what are you thinking here with the New Orleans Saints and what your prospects are of them? I mean, again, finishing from a 12-4 season, coming in with 9 projected total wins. Where do you got them?
This one's tough for me to project because obviously, yes, the quarterback position is going to be a problem, but I'm not sure Drew Brees was great last year. In fact, I'm pretty certain Drew Brees was a below average quarterback last year, and this team went 12-4. You look at 2 years ago when they had Bridgewater as the backup when Brees got hurt. Bridgewater went 5-0. So, and Brees was hurt last year as well. So, like, Sean Payton knows how to win despite having quarterback play that maybe isn't up to what the level of an average NFL quarterback is. Now, Jameis Winston, as you said, is a roller coaster ride. He's up and down. He'll make some great plays. He likes to push the ball. I think this team's going to throw, they're either going to throw deep to their wide receivers or going to just dump it off to Kamara. Like, those are the two options. I don't think Michael Thomas obviously is more of an intermediate route, especially a guy with Drew Brees. I don't like Michael Thomas in fantasy, by the way, this year. I don't think these quarterbacks fit in with the style of what Michael Thomas is, like Drew Brees did. Michael Thomas being cryptic, I don't know what he's complaining about. He got paid. I don't know why he's upset. Either say why you're upset or just play.
I think it had to do with the injury issue, like misdiagnosis, something or other. I don't know. There was something there where it was similar to, I don't know. It was a weird situation.
Wide receivers are weird, man. They're just up in their feelings.
They're divas,
all
man.
The time.
It's a
all the time up in their feelings. Like, how long ago did that happen? Like, get over it. Like,
true.
I don't know. I just when someone upsets me, I get over and probably an hour or two. So to hold on to it for that long, I just can't relate to that. That's not me. I don't understand it. But I'm also not getting paid a lot of money to be an NFL wide receiver. I was close. If you would have if I would have had a little more height, a lot more athleticism, and a lot more work ethic, I might have been able to do it.
You barely missed the cut on that one.
Yeah.
You could have been a decent tight end, I guess, maybe.
I think my natural position actually would have been on defense. A little free safety action.
Okay. You
I like to read the quarterback's eyes and make some plays on the ball.
Like hitting people?
And light up some guys that aren't looking. If they're looking, I'm probably gonna get lit up. But if they're not looking, I can get a shot in maybe once or twice.
By the way, just side note real quick. I just want to say, if you've ever seen that clip of Chad Johnson, is incredible. Ocho Cinco, his Twitter's, follow his Twitter. He's fantastic. But there was this one play where he was playing against the Baltimore Ravens when he was with Cincinnati, and he came across and he was going to put a block on Ray Lewis, and Ray Lewis just smashed him, just literally laid him out. And he was mic'd up for this particular play, and it was incredible to hear Chad Johnson go back to, he's like, man, I went after him. He lit me up. He laid me out. It was like, man, he put me on my ass. It's the best audio. Go back, find that audio where YouTube it. It's fantastic. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got off topic here in general. I have the Saints. I don't have a great feel for the Saints. I think they can be competitive because of their coach and Sean Payton, and I think Jameis Winston can be solid. And Taysom Hill's, they're still technically in a battle. Taysom Hill's not going to win you playoff games.
No.
So my mind, and Sean Payton has to be thinking down the road. I don't know if Jameis Winston can, but he at least has the throwing ability to give you a shot. Taysom Hill's not going to win you anything. He might win you some games in the regular season, and you can fool some people for a little bit, but long term, that's not a recipe for success. They're paying him a lot of money to be a backup quarterback, but defensively, this is a good defensive team. It really is. So this team is going to be competitive, and I think people are probably if I were to bet, I'd bet the over, just because I think the perception out there is now that Drew Brees is gone, this team's going to fall off. And I'm not sure that's going to be the case. Are they going to be the elite team they were 2 or 3 years ago with Drew Brees when he was playing a little better? No, of course not. But I still think they would not surprise me at all if this team makes the playoffs. Not one bit.
No, I think you're right. I think they have the potential there. I think they have to go with Jameis Winston. He's the boomer bust, right? He's the guy that's going to be, if they hit it big, he's the guy that's going to do it for him. Taysom Hill is just going to be average. Taysom Hill, for me, is that 500 quarterback. He's not going to win you a ton. He's not going to lose you a ton. He's just a random guy, right?
If you are better than the other team at every other position, start Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
But if you're not and you need him to make plays,
and
he'll still play. They'll have a package for him for sure.
I don't trust Jameis in the playoffs, though. You trust him maybe a little more than I do. He gives you a better chance to win in the playoffs because he's that boomer bust, but I still don't trust Jameis Winston at all. But let's go back to so we need to get to this tight end. We got a secret for you that you have to know, and we're one team away, just covering the Tampa Bay championship. We finished, man, we planned that out, right? We're finishing our division wrap-ups with the champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know you hate to hear that, but that's where we're finishing things out, and we're going to talk about them, and then don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 30-second break after we do this, and we're going to tell you the exact strategy you need to win your fantasy football. We've been teasing it. Not wide receiver, not running back, not quarterback. There's a certain secret that we have for you tonight, live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, that's going to win you your fantasy football league. So don't go anywhere. It's coming up here very, very soon. But let's talk about Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what we think about them coming into the season. Now, They are projected to win this by a long shot. -185. The next best team, New Orleans, is +330. That's a huge difference in margin when it comes to what Vegas sees as the best team in this division. And that is Tampa Bay, projected to win at 11.5 games. Now, they finished last season. Let me just double check this and confirm. 11-5. So they're going to be around the same, right? They have a lot of returning players. They have a lot of veteran players on this team. And, you know, there's going to be some challenges here when it comes to some running back decisions that they have to make. So with savvy vet Giovanni Bernard all but locked in as the third down back, battles between Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette to see who is going to take the lead in that backfield. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch going into the season. Player returning, OJ Howard, tight end. It must be nice to be a reigning Super Bowl champion and have, you know, a weapon including a solid tight end that you could throw to each and every time, along with Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate still in town. So, I mean, man, Rob Gronkowski's still on this team. This is a team of freaking, man, Tampa. People go to Florida to retire and to die off. Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, they're kind of fitting that mold at the moment. Here's the thing though, they're still performing. Maybe not Rob Gronkowski to a certain extent as much as Tom Brady, but they're still up there. We just recently saw Tom Brady throw a Super Bowl trophy from boat to boat in the Super Bowl parade, like hammered, having a good time on not only what was it? It was It was like avocado tequila.
Avocado tequila. Is that? Did we figure out if that's real or not? I'm still confused.
I don't know. It's a thing. Tom Brady's drinking, got hammered on avocado tequila, throwing a Super Bowl trophy from boat to boat.
I heard Big Ben commenting on it. He's like, "I've been eating healthier, but I'm not doing avocado tequila or something." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if this is real or he's just making a joke." I'm still confused. Is it real?
It has to be, man.
I like your tequila. Have you tried avocado tequila?
I'm having some tequila right now. It's not avocado, but it's good tequila. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Get yourself some avocado tequila.
But all I can say is Tom Brady puts himself in a good place when it comes to his diet and everything else to keep on track, and he's doing that. He's going to be playing until he's 50 at this point. But this is a guarantee lock of winning this division. There's no really I don't think there's a chance anyone can catch this team in this division.
Did they win the division last year?
No, they did not. So
no, the Saints won it last year at 12-4.
Do the Saints have Drew Brees this year?
They had him not for every game last year. And was Drew Brees good last year?
Nah, no, he was not. But still, Tampa Bay, they're just...
Listen, absolutely, they're the favorite in the division.
They're not going to lose.
I disagree that it's a lock. And this roster is loaded. And I'm going to give you the hot takes of all hot takes. People will just sign off after this. Like, they'll just be like, "You're
hot
an idiot."
take.
And I don't even care. I don't care.
Let's hear it.
At this point in everyone's career, based off their ability right now as a player, the biggest weakness I see with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is at the quarterback position.
Hot take.
Let's go.
Tell us in chat, do you agree? But I want to
agree with that. Is anyone going to agree with that?
I want to hear your take on it, though.
I'm saying the GOAT, everyone's GOAT, Tom Brady, won a Super Bowl last year. First of all, if you actually like look at every clip of every throw he made in the Super Bowl last year, it's laughable how easy the throws were and how he didn't do anything special whatsoever. Because I've watched him. I've watched that clip. However, and you could watch clips of a lot of Super Bowls where it's that way. This roster's stacked. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, a really, really good offensive line.
Woo.
Defense, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, William Golston, Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, Antoine Winfield, Sean Murphy-Bunting. Like, it's loaded. This roster is loaded. like what Tom Brady is great at is finding out. The best thing he ever did was choose Tampa Bay. When he was a free agent, he was like, where should I go? And he chose Tampa Bay. He had the foresight to know. Now they added some of these pieces in the draft and whatnot, but the foresight to know this roster is in fact loaded.
In my opinion,
and by the way, Bruce Arians, also not a good coach. Not a good coach. Not a bad coach. I would put him as an average coach.
Okay.
He's average.
Okay.
So he doesn't excite me. I think I actually like their D coordinator. Drawing a blank on who it is. He used to be the Jets coach.
Raheem Moore.
No, not his name. Now I gotta look it up. Bucks D coordinator. He used to be the Jets coach.
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles. Yeah.
Love Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles is legit.
Thought he got a bad deal in the Jets. I think he's a head coach. I think he's a better head coach if you insert him as the head coach than Bruce Arians, quite frankly. But as a defensive coordinator, he's elite among elite. He has a lot of talent to work with. They were very, very healthy last year. I'll say that. So we'll see whether the injury bug creeps up. Like, it's not like they're that young, especially on offense. They're not that young on offense outside of some offensive line pieces. Every other position is pretty experienced and a veteran of the league that might break down a little bit. But yeah, no, this team's roster is loaded. Their biggest weakness is Tom Brady.
Honestly, like, what makes Tom Brady the GOAT is the fact that he could evaluate teams and go to the right spot. You mentioned going to Tampa Bay. He was a loaded team waiting to happen. And I mean, that's part of being smart, man. Being a smart quarterback and going to the team that you feel is going to give you the best chance to win. And he did that. So I give him the props. That's part of him being the best ever. And I know you're about to. I know what you're going to say.
Clip this. No, I want us to clip this and send it to Freezing Cold Takes, and I want them to have this on their radar because I think I'm right. I think. First of all, I would love nothing more than the Chiefs to have a rematch with Tampa in the Super Bowl this year. However, the problem is Tampa's not going to be there. The Chiefs will be there.
Ooh,
Tampa will not.
Who do you got?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
Is it Gold Glovers, Green Bay Packers, and then?
No, we already talked about how I'm not sure that Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw the season because he's that petty.
the pettiness is real. We'll see.
Real.
We'll see.
Did you see the clip today with Aaron Rodgers? By the way,
I did not.
I guess last year there was some like tight end that he like hyped. And the next day, the Green Bay Packers cut him, and he was a Buffalo Bill. But Buffalo Bills picked him up. So he was hyping another tight end deeper on the roster today. And one of their press guys, the Green Bay, in Green Bay, was basically like, "Oh, he's gonna make a great Buffalo Bill." And Aaron Rodgers is like mid drink of water, and he just starts laughing. He's like, "Come on!" I forget the guy's name, like Bob or something. He's like, "Come on, Bob!" Like, it was actually pretty funny.
I'll have to go check it out.
Well played by the media guy to make a point of anyone that Aaron Rodgers hypes that's the death of that person in Green Bay.
That's fantastic. Well, that's where we're at. We have this is going to be a fun season that puts a bow on everything we had when it came to all of our division previews. So you should know where each team stands, what we're looking for, what battles at camp that we're going to be keeping our eye on. If you missed out, go to our VODs, either in Twitch or on YouTube, because they're live on YouTube as well. You can skip through and find all the information you need.